Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we're talking about Black Adam. We're talking about the good and the bad, even though there's not very much of that. And it's all going to be spoilery, so watch out. First things first, it's got a 39% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is absolutely terrible. Terrible in the fact that it shouldn't be the case. When you look at the audience score and it's 90%, that makes much more sense. And it says a lot because that's a review made by thousands of people as opposed to a couple of hundred reviewers. And that's only 39, but the more people that voted, it got a much higher score. So what does that say? Okay, so obvious things out of the way. The Rock as Black Adam was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I can't fault anything he did in the role. Honestly, he did really, 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 really good. He did what he said he was going to do. He was born for the role. And I'm so glad that it finally worked for him. I really am. He put in the years and years and years. It's paid off. It's paid off. He got a really good movie. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. He was amazing. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's one of my favorite DC characters. Aside from obviously The Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Lanterns, Dr. Fate's up there. And I was very excited to see how he would differ from Doctor Strange. There are a lot of similarities, especially in the powers that he moves, and I'm excited to see him in other projects, if not his own, to see what he can do. Atom Smasher and Cyclone, I'm not familiar with their actors, but they both did really, really good. Cyclone was great. Atom Smasher was really funny. Yeah, and they both brought something to the roles. Amon, the boy that played Amon, he did really good. For me, he was the true hero of the story. You'll see that like 95% of the movie takes place in Kahndaq, which is another positive for me, if I'm honest. I mean, you get to see Hawkman's like quote unquote X mansion, which, you know, but in the comics, he just normally like lives his life and stuff, but like doesn't really focus on fortune. But if you know you're going to keep being reincarnated, I guess you would prepare for that. You know, it makes sense. But, you know, they didn't have to go so X-Man-y with it, you know. My main two gripes, okay? Let me get these out of the way. The main two critiques. One, spoiler, when Dr. Fate supposedly passes, well, I say supposedly, he does. He dies. At least Kent Nelson's version of him dies. And then whoever puts the helmet on next is going to be Dr. Fate. But the fact that Hawkman was just holding the helmet, was able to multiply himself, and was able to use that in the final battle. Not a fan of that. Didn't really make sense. The other thing is in Shazam, they make a whole point about sharing with the family. Share your powers, get the Shazam League going, right? And Teth Adams' son, I don't know his name, was a real hero. A real hero. He wanted to be a leader. He was too young for that, even maybe with the wisdom, I don't know. A little, I say inexperience, and he didn't really get a chance, you know. He made a bold, sacrificial choice that if he had like 2 more minutes maybe, he might have thought, oh, I could share the power. Instead of having a transfer, I could share the power, you know. And in that way, the movie would be significantly different. But so would Kahndaq, you know. Especially with his son as the influence, you know. And I imagine him being the leader and in charge, because all he wanted was everybody to be free, everybody to be equal. Same as Amon, you know. Kahndaq is under an oppressive regime by Interpol, checkpoints and things like that, and probably disappearing and definitely killing people, all in search for the crown and other such power. So when you first see Black Adam, it's so good. It's so good. He comes in and Amon's mum saves her, and then you just see his power and his speed and his lightning and everything's just going crazy. And then you see it in his perspective, and then that's when you get like the whole everyone's like, oh, it's like Snyder, it's like Gunn, and it's like Singer. My friend Liam said that the song choice kind of brought him out because it was Paint It Black. But I've thought about it since, and like Shazam's suit's supposed to be red. I don't know, like, because Shazam, the wizard himself, his power was red. Everyone had their own kind of color power in the circle. Shazam being red, and then Black Adam obviously corrupted that. So it's talking about having something that's red and then painting it black. So it's kind of on point, but I understand why he was like, oh, this song really? That's a bit, come on, you know? So I get it. I fully get it. But those are my main two things, really. Other than that, absolutely amazing movie. I love the fact that for like 70% of the film, The Rock doesn't even walk anywhere. The only times that he walks is when he's knocked on the floor and gets back up and then he's in an apartment, or just like lands and just looks at some citizens of Kahndaq and is like, oh, is that a threat or not? You know, do I attack or not? And that's it. And then it's only when like he accepts to be in this world, to walk in this world, and not like, because the whole movie he's a fish out of water, right? He's out of his time. He's been made aware he's out of his time. Has nothing for these people other than the fact that he doesn't want to see innocents be slaughtered, because like his son wouldn't allow that, you know. So that's it. Like, because when he's just a slave, he's all, like, the graveyard's full of heroes. I'm no hero. Like, this isn't a time for heroes. But I feel like he's drawn to that to save Amon and other people like that because of his son, obviously. So then when he fully takes on that mantle as protector as opposed to ruler of Kahndaq, then he's walking. Then he's like, yeah, okay. I thought that was really, really quite significant, and I really enjoyed that. What else? I wish we saw more of the JSA, and I look forward to seeing them again. Okay, right. So, okay. So there's a really interesting thing I was thinking about is, can a hero be a champion for someone if they don't accept it? Right? If they don't want it. If you're doing what they don't want or they don't want you there, are you technically their champion? Right? Because the JSA don't operate in Kahndaq, never have. And the only reason they're there is to stop what they will perceive to be a threat for them in the future, right? And without Amon, yeah, he just looked like he was just going on a destructive path and it weren't going to go well. Amon humanizing him, showing him that there are people like his son that are worth protecting, worth fighting for, not just killing everybody, that, you know, he's not that danger, right? But the JSA come and they say, hi, we're the Justice Society. They don't even announce that they're from America. Not even the slightest. They mention none of it. So, and then they say, hey, you're not our champion. He is our champion, you know? So, it really made me think, like, Amon is definitely the hero here, and Black Adam is the champion. Not to say that the JSA are villains, but they're certainly misguided, especially Hawkman, and his rage definitely shows. He's just as angry and ready to throw down as much as Black Adam is. And the fact that they're sent by Waller raises questions as well, because then, are they a government agency in this? Are they set up by Waller, or are they just working with her? Because Hawkman seemed a little subservient, as much as he was, a person in his own right and said no, but he still felt like he was taking orders, you know. I was very aware. So at the start, you hear the myth that is the savior of Kahndaq. And I knew when Shazam told his story to, I forget the boy's name in Shazam, but when he spoke to him, Billy Batson, when he spoke to him, it definitely felt like just a cautionary tale that you tell a child. It didn't feel like it had any nuance to it, you know? And Black Adam's story definitely has nuance to it. That coupled with the myth at the start about who the savior is, definitely felt wrong. And then that gets proven by The Rock later on. Love seeing Superman at the end. I'm definitely hype. That was one of my son's favorite bits, as well as some of the fights, not all of the fights, he told me to say. I enjoyed seeing David Singh from The Flash in there. Patrick Sabonier, butchered his name, excuse me. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. Yeah, go and watch it. Go and watch DJ Eric, Eric's Reloaded. Go watch Heavy Spoilers.